A couple of things with regard to item 9, that 25% variable. I think we ought to know exactly what we're paying for, because that's quite a bit of difference for whatever the 25%, the $25,000 is. I think that we should know exactly, and they should know exactly what traffic lights or whatever they're going to replace, and that's just a big amount. With regard to DR2, I think Mr. Esparza is doing a good job, and I think you guys are doing a good job by bringing in some help for him. We would like to know, though, the date of the third quarter report. I see that you're all busy.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. So those things there. With this parking enterprise thing and these fees, you know, there weren't fees before for people who had a problem, especially around the hospital site. You know, people have, you know, they have permitted parking, but now you're proposing a fee for that, and I think it's wrong. We were asking in the first district for people to have permits in an area where they were bringing in a church. And so we were out asking people to support the idea of permits for parking, because it was going to be a burden and impact for people in that area. But now then, with you them talking about fees, there ought not be fees for parking permits. There have never been, and for you to come and institute this annual parking fee permit, I think it's wrong, and it's wrong for the people. And what it will do is stop people from, wanting to ask for permits if they have to pay for those permits. If people are going to be impacted negatively anywhere in this city, I don't think they should be impacted with fees for parking permits. So I would that you then would think through that, and especially when it comes to how it's going to impact people, especially people in all of the city, but how it's going to impact people in the first district where I live, and things that could be negative to people. So I don't think we need those fees. We haven't had those fees, and I would appreciate that you would not bring those fees on people. That's what I have to say for now, but I really, really mean that we don't need those fees, and you need to stop, bring this parking stuff and fees on people. Thank you.
Thank you. Close public comment. Item 1, we're going to open the successor agency in the Housing Authority, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President.
Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register, move for allow payment of the bills.
Move allow payment.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council and agency members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. On these assessment districts, they are all similar, and Mr. City Attorney, what I wanted to do was call all the hearings, give the community more time to speak collectively on the matters, and then have our discussion and vote. Is that any problem with that?
Yes, Mayor, you can make a decision to do that.
All right. Madam Clerk, what's the next scheduled matter, and could you call all four?
Sure.
All right.
The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to receive public comments on the annual levy and collections of Morningside Park Assessment District number 1974-2. The next one is a public hearing to receive public comments on the annual levy collection of the in-town maintenance assessment district number 1975-1. The next scheduled matter is a public hearing to receive public comments on an annual levy and collection of Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District number 1987-1, and a public hearing to receive public comment on an annual levy and collections of the Inglewood Street Assessment District number 1980-1.
Thank you. Has the notice of these hearings been given in the time, form, and manner as required by law? And do you have the affidavit on file?
Notice has been given, and affidavit is on file.
Have any communications been received on any of these assessment district matters?
No communications have been received.
Okay, Mr. City Manager, is there a staff report on these districts?
Yes, Mr. Lewis Atwell, Public Works Director, will give the staff report.
Welcome, Mr. Atwell. You know
Hello.
we're calling all of them, right?
Yes, I'll go ahead and go through all of them.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first item is the Morningside Park Maintenance Assessment District. It's a public hearing to consider the collection of assessment levies for the Morningside Park Assessment District number 1974-2. And immediately following the hearing, staff recommends that the council adopts the attached resolution ordering assessment levies remain unchanged for the Morningside Park Assessment District for fiscal year 14-15. The Morningside Assessment District is located in the city of Inglewood and consists of 109 parcels. The district is generally bounded by 84th Street to the north, Manchester Boulevard to the south, Van Ness Avenue to the east, and Crenshaw to the west. The district was formed in 1974 at the request of local business owners and the Morningside Park section of Chamber of Commerce. The district provides the funding necessary for additional maintenance activities to existing public improvements, including parkways, parking lots, medians, decorative lighting, and landscaping. The annual assessment for the district, which only affects parcel owners in that district, has remained unchanged at $86,000, $245, since fiscal year 1992-93. The actual maintenance costs, however, incurred by the city during 13-14 as an estimate were approximately $150,000, resulting in approximate subsidy by the general fund of $63,792. Go ahead and go over the second one. Okay. The second district is the In-Town Maintenance Assessment District number 1975-1. This is a public hearing to consider collection of assessment levies for the In-Town Maintenance Assessment District. And immediately following the hearing, staff recommends that the mayor and council adopt the attached resolution ordering assessment levies remain unchanged for the In-Town Maintenance District for fiscal year 14-15. The In-Town Maintenance District is located in the city of Inglewood and consists of 47 parcels. The district is generally bounded by Regent Street to the north, Kelso Street to the south, Locust Street to the west, and La Brea Avenue to the east. The district was formed in 1975 at the request of district business owners to attract customers and increase business patronage. The district provides the necessary funding for additional maintenance activities to existing public improvements, including tree trimming, street and sidewalk maintenance, street and directional sign replacement, and maintenance of pavement markings. The annual assessment for the In-Town Maintenance Assessment District, which only affects parcel owners in that district, has remained unchanged at $72,090 since fiscal year 92-93. The actual maintenance costs, however, incurred by the city during fiscal year 13-14 were approximately $225,000, resulting in a general fund subsidy of $152,937. The third item is the Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District, number 1987-1. The item you have before you is a public hearing to consider collection of assessment levies for the Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District, number 1987-1, and immediately following the hearing, staff recommends that the mayor and council adopt the attached resolution ordering assessment levies remain unchanged for the Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District for fiscal year 2014-15. The Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District is located in the city of Inglewood and consists of 128 parcels. The district is generally bounded by Century Boulevard to the north, 104th Street to the south, Crenshaw Boulevard to the east, and Club Drive to the west. The district was formed in 1987 to provide additional funding for upgrades and maintenance activities to existing public improvements, including streets, sidewalks, parkways, alleys, and general landscape maintenance. The annual assessment for the Darby-Dixon Maintenance Assessment District, which only affects parcel owners in that district, has remained unchanged at $66,712 since 1992-93 fiscal year. The actual maintenance costs incurred by the city, however, during fiscal year 13-14 were approximately $125,041, resulting in a general fund subsidy of $58,328. And the final item is the Street Lighting Assessment District Number 1980-1. And this is also a public hearing to consider collection of assessment levies for the Street Lighting Assessment District Number 1980-1. And again, immediately following the hearing, staff recommends that the mayor and council adopt the attached resolution ordering assessment levies remain unchanged for the Street Lighting Assessment District for fiscal year 2014 and 2015. The Street Lighting Assessment District includes 20,829 parcels and is bounded by the City of Inglewood border. The district was formed in 1980 to provide funding for the maintenance, servicing, and operation of parkway landscaping and lighting improvements within city public easements and public rights-of-way throughout the City of Inglewood. The annual assessment for the Street Lighting Assessment District, which affects all parcel owners in the city, has remained unchanged at $2,440,839 since fiscal year 1992-93. However, the actual maintenance and service costs incurred by the city during fiscal year 13-14 were approximately $3,548,026, resulting in a general fund subsidy of $1.1 million. This concludes all the hearings.
Are there any persons present who wish to address the council on any of these assessment districts?
Gil Matthew, District 4 Mayor and City Council. Concerning the assessment districts, I know we've been having it for quite a while. And what I would like to have is a brief oral report as to what extra services are actually being provided through the assessment districts. That's number one. And number two, this comes up every year as a hearing. And if possible, we could have an ordinance where it would be routinely done for the assessment districts, providing what extra services are in fact provided. It would save staff time, save your time, and it would be better understood by the people in the district, and I think it would be more acceptable. Thank you very much. But just discuss a little bit what extra services are being provided for being assessed special fees. Thank you.
Council members, I think that he has just made that very clear. No one realizes what actually gets done, because when we look at those various parcels and/or things that are supposed to be receiving maintenance, I sit there and go, apparently we think the weeds are plants. I don't know when the last time some of you walked up and down our streets, but they look miserable. They look pathetic. They look disgusting. I know, I took pictures this weekend. I'll tell you why later. It was kind of annoying. But you know what, it's really sad is that when we add up all the extra dollars, there needs to be a difference between what is paid for, not part of this extra assessment, and what is paid for because of this extra assessment. And then I think each and every one of us would like to hear exactly how many bodies you expect to do all of that work. Because we don't have a whole lot of bodies doing the work. We probably have more secretaries up and down on this one building than we have people outside doing landscaping. Because I certainly see a lot of very nice looking legs and skirts walking around that I know don't do our landscaping.
It's kind of sexist.
Yes, it was. And it was intended to be sexist. Do you want to know?
No, I don't.
Okay, let me tell you.
Disgusting.
No, I'll tell you why. We don't have too many young ladies out there who are doing the other work, do we? That's kind of sexist, isn't it?
You're
It
pathetic.
is. Because when I look at the men, we always assume there are men who have to be gardeners, don't we? How many male secretaries do we have? We are, in fact, very sexist in this organization. Very much so. In fact, the way we treat women who come to this podium is an exact example of how that happens, isn't it? Because you do put down women on a regular basis. Now, you didn't say how many expanded minutes I have, but we are taking essentially a 12-minute discussion item and narrowing it down to you're responding to me. How unfortunate is that? But the bottom line is you tried to change that all up and say, what? Distract from the number of bodies that I asked for. How many bodies do we have out there actually working? How do we disproportionately say this task, which covers the entire city, only needs X, when some people only have to function in a very small area? How is that possible? Could it be that there's a lack of connection? I know last meeting someone said, well, that business is way over on aviation. Hello, the whole city's only 9 square miles. It can't be way over anywhere. It's still in 9 square little itty-bitty miles. This is not
Give
the
her another
entire
3 minutes.
county. Yes, I think you should. Go on to 12 if you like, because I can fill it, as we all know. But I think it is also interesting that as we assess, what about the lighting everywhere in our community? What about the landscaping? You still haven't told us what you're going to do with some of the areas. You rush it through because you're playing beat the clock every week. How tragic is that? None of you who were here said anything about all the trees that were ripped out all those years ago. And see a hurry, hurry, put in the new trees. And yet in Manhattan Beach and all the other communities, what's more valuable? The tree section. And I'm very grateful that we now have an arborist. But even our tree ordinance to save our Morton Bay fig, have you celebrated it? No. And so help me, if it's gone, that will be probably one of the biggest tragedies this community could ever experience. Where other communities celebrate natural resources, we kind of blow them off. So, I'd like to know, what are you doing to actually beautify on a regular and continuous basis? Because I keep hearing the community is beautiful, and I'd like that to be our reality.
Oh, well, you men, here I is.
We're getting ready to
Y'all
put,
gonna
we're
go
getting
sexes on me too?
ready to put you down.
No, all right, now don't put me down. I am a woman, you know. Anyway, Lou, I got to congratulate you. The best move you ever made this council was to bring this man. You have done a wonderful job in the little time that you've been here and to list people to do the work. And I must say one thing. Your staff works 24 hours, right? So therefore, a lot of the things that's getting done with the little people that you have to save this city is being done around the clock. I have seen your people out there at 3:30 in the morning. I do know they work on weekends. So it's not about how many people working here. It's about getting the job done. And I want to say another thing. For us, these trees. Now, I was the main one complaining about those Charlie Brown trees. Remember that, Mayor?
I do.
Now, I must say, those trees look very nice on Manchester. I came down Manchester today. I must say, you doing a hellified job. I must say, this was a good thing to bring this man here from Downey, because Downey looks good, too. I tell you that, everybody lives that way. Evidently, they must like the way it look. So sooner or later, you will have enough money to make it look like Downey, won't you?
Actually better.
Huh?
Actually better than Downey.
Better, there you go, Mayor. So the way I look at it, you know, we come up here and we complain, but what about the streets? What about La Brea that this man, he did? I mean, you already said we didn't have enough money first of the year to repair the streets entirely. Morales section is the worst section in the city of Inglewood. Because everybody rolled down La Brea and Ralph Franklin.
Hey, I just want you guys to know that.
Yes,
we
it
need to
is. I'm
shift some
gonna
of
tell
our
it. Yeah.
funds over to my area.
Right. I shop in your district.
Thank you.
Family Dollar
for
over
that.
there. But I tell you, Mayor,
Appreciate that.
he has the worst district in the city. Ralph Franklin,
helping?
your
Is she-
Crenshaw
I
was
don't know
done.
what she's doing.
Right, I'm telling it like it is, you know, because people come up here and complain. It's not all the time I'm gonna be a plus with you all. Some things, Eloy, your streets need to be repaired.
I agree.
I'm serious.
I fully
And
agree.
especially Century.
If you could make a motion, I'd second that.
Please do Century, Mayor. Louis, do those potholes, do something with Century.
agree.
Please fix Century. That's the main thing, y'all. But you did say we didn't have enough money to do the whole streets that you would do the Alice first. See, I got a good memory. And you would do all of the potholes and try to cover up all of the
Give her 3 more
damages in the
minutes.
streets. You did say that. Am I right?
You're right.
Tell me if I'm wrong. So you trying. So let's not keep coming up here and fighting these men. They're not sexist people. And you might have a little bit too many employees in City Hall. I agree with her on that. But sooner or later, you will take care of it. It's just a matter of time. But congratulations, Louis. You're doing a hell of a job. Thank you.
Except in my area.
We'll get there next year.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. I want to say this. You know, I look at the big picture. I can count. I can go back to, say, 4 or 5 years ago, and I can see what this city looked like. And I can see what this city look like now and what it's going to look like in the next 2 years. I know we are short some people, especially park and recreation. But I want to say this. The people that we have working in the parks are doing a terrific job, believe me. There's not too much difference in the way our parks look now than they did when you had 3 times as many people working over there. And I want to support Miss Ethel when she give this gentleman here, Mr. Lewis Atwell, right? You done a job, man. We hope you stay here for the next 20 years, and I guarantee you this city is going to be on top. I hope you approve all 4 of these items, and so we can get out of here and go home. Thank you.
Leroy Fisher, the First District, and I'll begin by talking about the First District, and I'll be talking about the area on Manchester, between Van Ness and Crenshaw Boulevard, coming down Manchester from there. Talked about there being more than $63,000 that we evidently, our taxes are paying, because the businesses were supposed to be taking care of that. Now you're saying that we are paying it, we don't have the money, and you don't want to increase the fees for those people who ought to be taking care of those things, like those trees that block off some of the streets coming into Manchester. I think you all know what I'm talking about. That we're supposed to be taking care of. Some of those things are broken and not being replaced. You know, I don't know what in the First District would cause all that extra money that we supposedly are paying out of our tax fees over and above the monies that these businesses are supposed to be paying. So, you know, it's concerning to me that things like the clock there on, as you enter Inglewood on Manchester, that clock has been not working for many years now. And, you know, if we're paying all this money, it seems to me that that clock at least should be up and about and fixed, and as we come into the city of Inglewood, if it's going to be that beautiful city.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes,
the clock was fixed 2 months ago.
is it? Well, I'm glad, because it had been not fixed for many, many years.
So now you can say, I'm happy about that.
I
Thank
am,
you very much.
I am, I am.
Yeah, that's what you usually
And so
do,
that's-
right?
That's one part of the district that had been repaired, and there were many people that were fighting to have that clock repaired. And if it is, I hadn't seen it, but if it is, Mayor Butts, I applaud the city for doing that.
But you would have to
But-
stay there for more than 1 minute, otherwise you wouldn't know, because it looked like it was sitting still.
I didn't get what
You would have to stay there for more than 1 minute, or it looked like it's not working.
Oh.
That's how clocks are.
You wouldn't have to say, you have your watch and you know what time it is, so if I were coming through there, down there at the businesses there that I do go to, having my tires fixed or whatever.
I'm giving another 3 minutes, Mr. Fisher, but I'll tell you that Mr. Atwell and I have been working on that clock for about as long as he's been here, because the first costs that we got were in the $80,000 range to fix it.
Yeah.
And he came up with some very innovative ideas to replace the guts, as opposed to going with the guts that were in it. And so we got it fixed at a very good price for the citizens.
Well, I am glad, Mr. Atwell, that you did, but I know that many people in that district were fighting for that clock, and it
They should have told
That's me.
us.
They have told you. I'm sure that they told Mr. Atwell, but that's all beside the point. My point was that all these extra monies that we are paying, supposedly, that Mr. Atwell bought to us, and then you not increase the fees on those people who are benefiting, the businesses. And if it is, as it said, that we're growing and having all these businesses come into it, and if you want to make things better for the people and better for the businesses, it seems to me that they ought to be paying their fair shares, and we ought not have all these additional amounts of monies that we are paying out of the general fund. And with regard to the street lighting, just like Mr. Matthews said, we need some reports on actually what you're doing and what you're getting done, because with regard to the street lights on 77th Street, I don't, that one light was knocked down and laid down for many months, some years ago, but I don't see anything that increases the beautification of that first district with regard to lighting. And so we ought to know really, really what we are paying for and what all these additional fees that Mr. Atwell has said that are coming out of the general fund. And if they are, then you them ought to see that those people who supposedly are benefiting by these things, and there's not many, because on that area I talked about between Van Ness and Manchester, there's not a whole lot of businesses that are there. There's a lot of closed businesses in that area, except for fast food, Jack in the Box that just opened, and I'm not so happy about another fast food area or fast food thing coming into the city. But if they're going to be there, let them pay some of the $63,000 that are coming out of the general fund in the first district to make things better, so that we don't have to have that money coming out of the general fund. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. We will close public comment. Any council comment?
Just briefly before I make the motion, Mayor, I'd just like to say that, every year they get presented, and it feels like it's a new item where we could add something or really kind of stress what extra stuff gets done. But the truth is that the city, I think we've been subsidizing these particular assessment districts for a number of years, which means that the money that's collected is not enough for what actually is getting done. So that needs to actually be updated. We should study that in all, but otherwise, I just wanted to point out that while the assessment districts have been done annually, they do not cover the cost of actually what's being done, which is some of the maintenance. And while we may fall short, I know we're on it, and I know you took note. So outside of that, Mayor, as to PH1, PH2, PH3, PH4, item number 2 of each item that I called, I move approval for that.
I second with
Okay,
comment.
okay, Councilman Padilla was waiting, and then Councilman Franklin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick comment. Just want to echo that, our public works folks are out there all the time working hard. And, some folks are asking for like a detailed description of what they're doing out there. And I can just assure you that if you go out there and you look at some of our streets, not all of them are in disrepair like some folks will lead you to believe. Not all our plants look like weeds, as some will lead you to believe. There's a lot of good things that are going on in our community, a lot of good repairs that are being made. And yes, I agree that we need to take another look at these assessments and these fees, and I'm sure we'll be doing that. But the work is getting done, and we're moving forward, and we're going to continue to do that. Anyway, that's my comments, Mayor.
Councilman Franklin?
Yes, and just following up with my colleague in District 3, I have streets that need to be repaired as well, so don't think he's the only one that's been slated, and I think all of us in unison are thinking about Century Boulevard. So, but more importantly, the special assessments, when you take time to read the staff report, you will notice that the services being rendered, rather than we're used to getting something done once a week, they're getting it done multiple times per week, and also more attention to details on issues, particularly in Darby-Dixon as an example, including the lighting, the amperage has been changed, the number of times of street sweeping is twice versus once, as we're used to per side, per week, and those kind of things. So I want to make sure that people understand that of the additional services that's been rendered into these special assessment districts. In addition to that, I want to clarify a misstatement that was made about how we are going to do the alleys first, because there were residents here that I saw in the audience that specifically was here about alleys. And there are alleys that are not in the CDBG areas that have areas of priority that need alleys to be repaired, particularly when they're telling me, and I've seen the alleys that have been asphalt are now pebbles and virtually down to sand, that they're on the waiting list to be able to get those alleys repaired. That's not part of this particular package. So I want people to understand that's gas tax specifically that we're working on, and we're dealing with the governor on trying to solidify our funding for that gas tax in order to provide that kind of service. There's a number of alleys that have not been done in decades that we're looking to now try to find the funding to get it done. But here specifically are the special assessments that we're now looking at, and again, I want to emphasize that they are getting special services and special assistance, which requires for that special assessment. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, just 20 seconds.
Yes,
I'm sorry
sir.
for interrupting.
Yes, sir.
We joke
You can
around.
have some of my time.
Thank you. We joke around a lot, but the truth is I wanted to clarify. There is Century Boulevard, which is in my district, that really needs work, and we've had countless conversations about how we're going to get that done. But I didn't want anybody to leave here saying that we haven't done a tremendous amount of work. I wanted to thank you for that. We had Manchester Boulevard just a few years ago. We had a long stretch of South La Brea, which is a tremendous amount of project, which I wanted to thank you for. Those are some of the biggest projects we've had in the city in the last couple of years, as well as Hardy you did just a few years ago. So there's actually been a tremendous amount. Sometimes comments, they get stretched out of proportion, and we tend to, because we know they're not completely accurate, we tend to just be playful with them. But I just wanted to point out that we are doing a tremendous amount of street improvement, and Century is coming. Thank you so much. Just wanted to point that out. Didn't want to leave you out there.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Dodson?
just a quick comment so I won't be left out. I'm satisfied. You guys have done a great job in the first district. Every morning when I come out and drive around, I see public work at work. The streets are being done. Sure, there's always going to be some that we can't get to, just not enough money. But for the money that we have, and the work that's being done, I'm one satisfied councilman. And I hope that my district will feel the same way, because there have been a many year that we didn't see anybody working on those streets. So I'm happy. And I want you to keep up the good work, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. Evidently, it must be right, because the work is getting done. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would tell you that Councilman Dotson and Councilman Franklin should be pretty happy because, as we said, we programmed an additional $1 million for street resurfacing this year on that side of town. Something that I don't know when that's been done here before, and it probably never, as my colleague says. And so the reality is that we are getting the job done. Century Boulevard is an issue of being able to use our bond proceeds. That will not happen until we get our finding of completion from the Department of Finance that will allow us to use our redevelopment bond funds. We anticipate that happening in the next 4 to 5 months. Century Boulevard will be done. And we're going to start a water project on that probably pretty shortly. That will be one phase of it. About these assessment districts, there's only a certain amount of things that you do in maintenance, isn't that right? But what this allows for is more frequent maintenance of these particular parcels. So I think it's kind of demeaning to ask people, well, do you cut the grass and pull the weeds? I mean, they're all the same kind of things you would imagine go along with maintenance, but it happens more frequently, and that's why more is paid. Mr. Atwell, the number of field personnel, when we went through our layoffs, did you lose field personnel in the maintenance area?
We did lose some. We lost some concrete folks, and I believe Harry can answer that a little bit better than me, but I believe we lost a couple people in the field crews.
Okay. Mr. Frisbee,
Good afternoon,
what
Mayor and
exactly
Council.
did we lose?
Within public services, approximately 6 positions.
And what those people do?
Various from public works service workers who would handle these types of maintenance activities, including the concrete finishers as well.
Okay. Did we allow you the flexibility to contract for shortages that you might have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you taken that flexibility and used it?
Yes, we have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Atwell and Mr. Frisbee, if females apply for jobs in your departments in the field, are they hired if they're qualified?
If they're qualified, yes.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Are these low turnover or high turnover jobs?
Low turnover.
Okay, so usually when someone comes and works for your organ, they may be there 10, 15, 20, 30 years, is that
That's
right?
correct, sir.
So they're not high turnover jobs. The reason I brought that up is that the inference was made that somehow we're sexist for not having females in your operation, when the most dangerous classification in the city, that of police officer, we hire many females and have hired many females in this organization. And so I thought it was extraordinarily unfair and sexist to diminish women that work in a secretarial role. That was wrong. Because you know what, that's a valuable job. And the reality is, Mr. Fields and Mr. Falco, we have very few people that serve in a straight secretarial function here in this organization. Is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
The role where they just support an executive. Usually those classifications are multifaceted. And we've evolved to that as time has gone by because we have a leaner, more efficient organization. And so the inference to their dress was wrong. Should not happen, and I apologize to our employees because sometimes some people just don't understand that people tend to apply for the jobs that they want. It doesn't make your job any less valuable. So I apologize to you because the council does not feel that way. As it relates to what we're doing in the city, how much money, percentage-wise, have we increased our expenditure on road resurfacing this year versus 2010? That was the year we spent about $140,000. I think we're at $1.1 million this year.
No, we were at 1.8 million just for the local roads, including District 1 and District 4. And then we're also doing La Brea Phase 3, which is where the curves. And also we're doing Florence Avenue, which is not in construction, but it's currently ending design. So you could, that's probably,
The 1,000% increase.
yeah, that's about $4 more million.
Oh, $4 more million.
Yeah, because
Well, then it's more than 1,000%.
Right.
My
Because La
God.
Brea alone, I believe, is over 2.5 million, and then the 1.8 for the local road resurfacing, or local street resurfacing is 1 point,
So it's not even worth talking about the comparison.
it's a huge increase.
Okay, okay. So what I want to make clear to everyone is while we cannot repair 20 years of neglect in 1 year, we've made a darn good start. To come from a situation where 3 years ago, all the city had in the bank was $11 million. $11 million, and we were burning through probably $4 million a year in our liability payments for liability incidents. We were burning through $4 million a year. The police department has really got its act together. We haven't had any high liability incidents in quite a while, and I attribute that to the management of the police department. So I just want everybody to understand the city has a different approach to running its business, and that involves, one, taking care of the fundamentals, watching our fiscal house, saving money where we can so that we have more monies available to put additional monies towards street resurfacing, and we'll continue to do that. And no, we can't fix everything in one day, but we are fixing things at an enormously expanded rate right now. And I thank Mr. Atwell as well, but I thank the council because these gentlemen have worked in a unified direction to provide the resources that these two good men need to fix our streets and take care of our infrastructure renewal. That includes our water and sewer, and that includes our roadways. And you'd have to be blind not to be able to see that. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members, Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. Consent calendars, items 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Mayor, can we go back to the minutes?
Okay, we'll
And
go,
I-
you want
and
to
I
do the
needed
minutes?
you to,
Okay.
call
Item
to-
2, CSA 2, H2, and can we open the Finance
A
Authority?
quorum is present. Approval of the minutes held for the following meetings of council, successor agency, housing authority, and finance for June 17th, 2014.
So, second?
Madam Clerk?
Council and agency members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin. Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar, items 3 through 9.
So moved.
Second?
Madam City Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report recommending adoption of an ordinance approving the secure property tax rate for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2014.
Move motion to waive further reading?
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dotson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. Ms. Quakey, just because it has the word tax in it, would you give us just a little bit about what this item is?
Sure. Back in 1983, the City of Inglewood approved an emergency ordinance, number 2449, that fixed the amount of money that was necessary to be raised by taxation upon the taxable property in Inglewood. The City Council declared that the tax required to be paid is to be assessed pursuant to the powers granted under Article 3, Section 4 of the Inglewood City Charter, and is intended for the purpose of allowing the city to meet its voter-approved obligations to participate in CalPERS. The tax imposed by this ordinance was set at a rate of 0.146958 cents, or 14 cents, on the dollar per $100 of assessed property value, and it has remained unchanged in the last 30 years.
Okay, so to be clear, this assessment was approved by the voters back in 1980 what?
Actually, when going back and doing research, 1983, we passed the ordinance, but it was actually approved in 1944.
Okay, and so it's remained unchanged since then, and it was done by a vote of the people, is that right?
Correct.
Madam City Clerk? Oh, no, I'll introduce.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to stop you.
No, it's okay.
All right.
That's
Right.
okay.
No, my bad, I thought there was a vote. DR2?
Staff report recommending adoption of a resolution authorizing the Finance Department to fill the budget and accounting manager position and include the position in the department fiscal year 2013-14 budget.
Move approval.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. DR3.
Staff report recommending adoption of a salary ordinance amendment for the fiscal year 2013-14.
Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
I introduce the ordinance.
DR4.
Staff report recommending adoption of an ordinance establishing a new permit parking district, providing the permit parking fee, and regulating the use of parking permits.
Motion to waive further reading.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
I introduce the ordinance.
Move adoption number 3.
No.
We're not taking action on number 3.
Oh,
I
okay,
believe it's
oh,
not.
correct,
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we got a memo right before we came.
Okay, DR5.
Staff report recommending presenting a fiscal year 2014-15 annual action plan for the review in preparation of the July 22nd, 2014 public hearing.
Receive and file. SPH1.
Staff report requesting that a public hearing be set to receive public comments on the city's 2014 local development report and approve the city's conformance with the Los Angeles County Congestion Management Program.
Set the public hearing for August 12th, 2014 at 7 p.m. A1,
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reports from the city attorney's office.
CM1.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, I only have one item to report on today, and that's regarding our building permits. We quarterly do a report on the number of building permits that we process over the year, and building permits for this quarter have doubled over last year, so it's reflective of the increase in business activity that's going on in the city.
Right, but I want you to guarantee those businesses won't be gone in 2 years. I want you to guarantee. All right. Let's see, CT1, CSA 3, H3. Did we open the Housing Authority, Madam Clerk?
Quorum, Mr. President.
And F2.
Quorum, Mr. President. Monthly Treasurer's Report for the month ending April 30th, 2014.
Receive and file. CI1.
As an initiative by Councilmember Morales requesting conditional approval for the city sponsorship of the 2014 Sky, Sea, and Land event to be held at Edward Vincent Park on Saturday, July 19th, 2014, from 9 o'clock to 10 a.m.
Actually, there is a correction. It should be 9 to 1.
9 to 1,
PM,
okay.
correct.
Correction made.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Just, Mayor, real briefly, if I may. So I've been meeting with a group of leaders that are meeting both in my community and with some of the Latino pastors in the district. And there's an annual event that's called the Sky, Sea, and Land event, headed by a lot of the leadership, both in LA County and in specific churches around the city. They're actively trying to mentor youth and get certain resources allocated throughout the city to ensure that there's groups where gang-related activity can be addressed, and leadership to train certain pastors on how to deal with those type of issues. This year, they've elected to have this event in the city of Inglewood, and, you know, I'm very happy with the group of leaders that are taking place, so I wanted to help them sponsor it here.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor.
Do we have to vote on this?
Yeah, call for the vote.
Oh,
Call for the
I'm
vote.
thinking about
And
that.
then I'll get you.
I got a couple things going on over here. I need to quiet these people down. Council members, Dodson.
Aye.
Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. And you know what, we didn't go to CC1.
Thank you, Mayor. I did just received a note from a young lady, I don't know who sent it, but she was asking if there was a way some of the young people could speak before we had the end of the close of the meeting, so I just wanted to tell her we're almost done. I don't know who it is, so they probably can wait. I wanted to thank Mr. Atwell and Harry Frisbee for their diligence. In the 4th of July, they accommodated, I think it was 20 some odd, I don't even know. It was a lot of block clubs. And I was able to attend a few of them. Our block had a party too, so I had to attend that as well. But you know, as I went around and I thought about it, and I spoke with many of the people, and I landed, a lot of them were out of District 3. We have some amazing people that live in this city, and they are so positive and so fired up, and it was just so awesome to spend time with them and to see and hear some of the things that they had to say. And I met one of Eloy's school friends, Miss Delgadillo, and she was bragging their block. They were bragging on their block, you know. And even the mayor came by, and Alex was out there as well, and it was just really great. I also, there was a comment that was made earlier about the new businesses. Well, I sit on permits and license, and just for the record, and I would like for the public to know, there are a lot of new businesses, and it's amazing. And so that's not a myth, that's not made up. I sit on it as well as the city treasurer. We sit on it together, and we approve for new businesses to come here. So I just thought, I don't want people to think that they're not new businesses coming, because they really are. I think that might be it. That's it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Madam Treasurer. You know, we didn't have you down for speaking today, but I know that you probably were ready to. I just was feeling.
I know you didn't say that, Mayor. I'll just ignore that.
So I'm going to write in CT1.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, I have a brief treasurer's report that I'd like to give, and it's for the month of April 2014. And for the City of Inglewood, the funds under management is $97,242,766. And the interest earnings for the service debt is $27, and the interest earnings is $36,477. And again, there are copies of the report that's on the table to the outside that you could follow along with me. For the successor agency, funds under management, $107,916,259, and the debt service interest earnings is $11,627. Interest earning, $20. Housing Authority, $100,625 under management, and the interest earnings, $57. Public Finance Authority, $13,495,067 under management, and the interest earnings for debt service is $1,719. Total funds under management is at April 30, 2014, is $218,754,717. And the amount of gross interest earnings that has been generated from the time that I have served as treasurer to date is $76,484, with no dollars lost during that time. And again, be sure to pick up a copy of the report. And also, I'd like to report with regards to the funds as of June 3rd, 2014, the trust investment account for the City of Inglewood and the City of Inglewood Redevelopment, formerly the City of Inglewood Redevelopment, now the successor agency with U.S. Trust, was closed. And now it is with Bank of America Merrill Lynch through its subsidiary Global Agency. And the funds that have been transferred for the City of Inglewood is $56,031,449.20. This is as of June the 30th, 2014. And the total funds with them is $62,002,447.05. And as I mentioned, we're no longer paying Bank of America U.S. Trust $5,000 a month. Now we're paying them something around about $1,500 a month for that same service. So we have a nice savings of roughly about $3,500 per month. And I'd also like to point out that the bills that was paid for the month of June was roughly about $14 million. Actually, $13,971,661.64. And thus far for July, $3,446,281.16. And again, I just want to remind you regarding the Community Financial Workshop that was scheduled to start on the August the 9th. we're going to start it 1 week later because I wanted to attend the event that Councilman Padilla is having that same day. So our event will start 1 week later, and it'll be held again in Community Room A from 1:30 until 3 o'clock. And again, we'll be talking about reverse mortgages, pros and cons, insurance, whole life versus term, which is better, homeowners insurance, kinds of coverages. And we'll have public speakers. We'll talk about home refinancing, how to evaluate the best type of mortgage for your situation, first-time buyers, how to determine the mortgage best suits your financial needs. And also, we'll be talking about the amount of money one might need post-retirement. As I mentioned, many folks are living, 20 to 30 years beyond retirement and more, and so you certainly don't want to outlive your retirement income. So we'll be discussing that. And we're talking about the pros and cons of annuities. A lot of folks really don't understand some of the drawbacks of annuity contracts because they are contracts with an insurance company. And also establishing educational plans for your children, grandchildren, et cetera. So those are some of the topics that we'll be talking about. So hopefully we will be getting that flyer out in about another 8 days. It'll be in the public library and it'll be circulated around the city. We'll have also an array of different speakers that will be there also. So hope to see that we have a nice turnout. And lastly, I just want to mention, I'm sure it'll be mentioned later on, that wonderful article that appeared in the Los Angeles Journal. And there are copies that have been put out on the table, for you to pick up. I was just, so proud of our city employees, of this council, of this mayor, who has brought us from the depths of deaths, and that was just a wonderful article. So be sure to pick it up and read it, because I'm going to frame a copy, my copy, and put it in my office. It's a wonderful article, and I just want to congratulate everyone that contributed, all of the employees, the city, the councilmen, and everyone. That concludes my, oh yeah, I want to mention one last thing.
Ms. Brown, I think you need at least another minute. Please.
Well, thank you, particularly since my part wasn't even on the agenda. I just want to mention also, this will be quick, I was also the commencement speaker this past Saturday at MTI, Ministerial Training Institute. That church is headed up by Bishop Johnny Young, and they had roughly about 16 graduates. And my topic was the cost of being politically correct, yet biblically wrong. So it was a very interesting topic, and I covered a lot of interesting area, and I want to thank them for inviting me to be their speaker. That concludes my remarks. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we had some children that wanted to speak?
This young lady, and I guess the young students.
Have them come on up.
Good afternoon. My name is Gabriela Limas, and I'm an Inglewood resident, and recently I've been attending a program at Chugos to help better our communication skills and how to build trust. Even though I didn't attend Chugos High, I have friends that recently graduated and also some that are still on the road to graduate. And basically what I've learned from my friends that attend Chugos High is that they actually want to help better not only Inglewood community, but all of LA community. Because this school, Chugos High, has kept a lot of my friends off the streets and out of a coffin. Chugos has made youth care about their studies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council people. My name is Tanisha. I'm a youth organizer at the Youth Justice Coalition. I'm also a recent graduate from the Youth Justice Coalition. Before I got to Chugos, I went to Fremont High School, which has zero tolerance policies and push and prison procedures. I was ticketed time after time for being late to school, which led me to juvenile hall for warrants for not appearing in court and stuff like that. And as y'all probably know, each ticket was $250, and at the time, my mom couldn't afford a $24 bus pass every month, so I know she couldn't pay tickets. So most of the time, I was ticketed time after time by sometimes the same school police and never asked what I needed for support. After I was sent to Los Virginia Juvenile Hall for 1 month, I had met a social worker that had told me about Chuco's. And when I went there, they supported me and worked on my issues, and they even gave me a monthly bus pass to make sure I got there on time. And while I had many struggles as a student and becoming an organizer, they worked with me, and we had many conversations about the root causes of my actions and what to do to prevent and restore the harm I have done to myself or anybody else. Chuco's is a community center that wants to help every young person in LA County, which is why students come from various places. Like myself, a lot of people struggle, so I've been moving from place to place. I was coming from LA, from Koreatown, from different places at the same time, still going to the same school in Inglewood. And a lot of times too, a lot of students are getting suspended, expelled, and a lot of that stuff in their other districts. So a lot of people have no other choice but to come there. In LA County, one of our main priorities is not youth development. So there's not a lot of choices. There's not a community center like that in every city that young people can reach. That's why people have to come way over there. So I feel like we need to learn how to work with young people instead of looking at them for their issues. Because like they were saying, some people come there and be on drugs and stay in stage 1, but they will still graduate because it's like working with people instead of pushing them away. So I invite y'all to, look into youth development, because I heard y'all talking about streets and stuff. You should build a little center or something like that so young people have more places to go to, closer places to their house. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Davon. I'm also a youth organizer with the Youth Justice Coalition. We serve not just the city of Inglewood, but we serve the county of Los Angeles and sometimes on the state levels. We provide a safe, welcoming place for the community. Chuco's Justice Center also has Free LA High, in which many youth, such as myself, were pushed out of school. And we are encouraged when we come up there to finish and complete our high school diplomas in our futures. We offer other things such as record clearing and clearing people's tickets. We are actually working on a Metro Pass campaign, free Metro Pass campaign, in which a lot of youth cannot always afford to get on the bus or on the train to get back and forth to school or take care of whatever they need to do. So we are working on that. We have Welcome Home for people who are recently released from incarceration, and we do a lot of community servings for our youth, job development, and things that our city, Inglewood, the whole county needs. And we are a youth empowerment here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is Eden Sylvia Quinto. I'm a rising 2L at UCLA School of Law and have the privilege to be working with the Youth Justice Coalition doing the summer program for girls of color. 2 students had to leave and they left their testimonies. I'll just briefly read them. Thank you. Hello, my name is Rosalinda Rodriguez. As a former student at Chuco's High School, so far, I only came for 2 months towards the end of the school year. Throughout the school year, we're able to leave during lunch from school, but there are rules that say we need to be back in time for class. A lot of students go to local restaurants and local stores, but since we're on a short time, we usually get our food and go back to the school. I know our neighbor complained that our students at our school were smoking marijuana. As a student, I'm focused on getting my high school diploma. I don't use drugs. My friends are serious about their school. If you're under the influence or you seem like you are, you get sent home for the day and you're not able to come back until you bring a parent and have a transformative justice circle, meaning to solve conflicts, build peace, and help former students resolve problems peacefully. And the other testimony is by Marquisha Lofton, who had to stay home to take care of her 2 nieces, and she briefly wrote, YJC, Youth Justice Coalition at Chuco's Justice Center, helps many people come home from prison and help them change their lives around. YJC offers a community get-together for a reach out to let people know that they're not alone. Potluck, resource fair, local community organization. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mother Racinos. YJC is for the community. It's there for its community. Its purpose has been for the youth to succeed. I'm not from the area nor attend YJC, but I still come a very long way to participate in the programs and become involved. The times that I've been asked by the staff, they've asked me questions of how the school or like the school system could improve or do different things in order to make it easier and a better learning place for the students, and how we could get rid of obstacles that keeps us, the students, from graduating. And I think we should support the school because it is part of a community.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate, I really appreciate how you're offering forward-thinking solutions.
Hi, my name is Nancy Flores. I'm here to support the Chucos Justice Center. The space, the people, they've welcomed me, supported me, not only me, but like a collective of people. I was introduced while working on a school project. I chose to make a video that projected the impact gang injunctions have on the community and individuals. El Lobo Alberto Caceres, sorry, I know I said that wrong, and organizer Kim Miguel opened up to me. Alberto helped me understand the everyday struggle he faced being in a gang injunction. He gave me his full support and time, along with Kim, who gave me resources. I mean, coming from, they didn't even know me, and they gave me their time, their support, their resources, and they helped me finish. They helped me finish with their support, and now I'm an active, I guess, volunteer, I would say. I help out as much as I can with this school to jail track that they work on, the gang injunctions that they're helping to stop. And they're just an amazing organization that opened up to me and everybody they come across. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Okay, we'll continue with public comment. I didn't say it, but this is public comment, so anyone that would like to speak.
My name is Leroy Fisher, and I'm from the 1st District of the City of Inglewood. These young people who are here in the Chuco Justice Center, I don't know, is that on Redondo Boulevard? Correct. Yeah. Well, I see a lot of the kids down there and hanging out. I never knew exactly what that was, but I applaud anybody who is helping these young people direct themselves and find proper life, get involved, be given jobs that, so many people here who are related or interacted with some of you people like you, them, sitting on this dais here, could reach out to some of these young people and see that they get jobs. And once they get a job in some direction, they will do better in their lives. And with that, I go back to you to say that to stop all of that stuff, if we in this city, had a YMCA again here. I talked to you the other week about a property, that was offered to you at Hollywood Park. And since you couldn't do anything with it, maybe you would talk to LA Metro YMCA to get other youth involved, would choose to build a YMCA there or somewhere in the city to help young people and also provide a place for seniors in the city, which we don't have. In the 1st District, they have the place community building there. Just recently, they had to fix the handicap rack for people because the thing was falling apart. And, it was time, because people were falling through that thing. But, again, we don't have any place in the city for people to meet. And when we do have places like the ICOP Center, we ought to have meetings there with our council people and all these other ICOP centers in this city, to come and meet and greet and talk to the people about what's going on and talk to people like these youth people and give them some proper direction, because it's fine for you them to say that, whoopee, we're doing this and we're doing that. Hell, those monies that we paid for our water and sewer are making much of this possible. It's time for you to talk about doing something proper and positive for this city, and you know, talking about businesses and all these little fast food restaurants that many of these young people go into, but we don't have any decent markets that we seniors and some of these young people could go into in this city. You know, I say that a lot of stuff that you then put out there is fraud, and you might put it off on some people, but there's some of us in here that know better. And when it comes to these young people, you ought to be talking positively and helping them positively to get jobs and get on the road, because all these kids deserve it, and they're that age that they need to be helped. And like I say, I know that you're helping some of your own, but you need to be reaching out to some of these other people.
Okay, Mr. Fisher, I've tried to be patient. They're going to have to cut it down now. Tried to be patient.
Good afternoon. Anna Regalado, District 1. First of all, I would like to thank Councilman Dotson for coming to our 4th of July block party. It was a success. I already have people coming over and asking, they're ready for the next year. And we're looking forward to seeing Mayor Butts next year, hopefully.
You know, I went to 21. I'm sorry I didn't make
You
it.
could have done 22.
So
Exactly.
and if I'd known, I'd have been at 22.
Well,
All right.
I'm very thankful, and thank you very much, Dotson.
It's killing me, man.
Hello, everybody. How are you all doing?
Just fine. How about yourself?
Great. My name is Kruti. I work at the Youth Justice Coalition. Chuco's Justice Center is named after Chuco, who was one of our youth organizers that unfortunately got killed while he was trying to build truces for peace. So we honor him by calling the center that. I understand that there were there was a complaint that we heard about a couple of weeks ago. So really today we're here to, you know, educate folks on what we do, and definitely invite you all. Nancy is passing out an invitation for a community open house at Chuco's Justice Center. That's next Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Just to kind of come and see what we do. I think nothing speaks louder than that. I'm also I'm an Inglewood resident, and I have a 6-year-old. And I don't know about you all parents, but my son doesn't listen to me all the time. Can you believe that?
No, unbelievable.
And I've worked with young people. I've been in this at Chuco since we moved into Inglewood. And over the last 6 years, I have worked with hundreds of young people that love and adore me, but sometimes they don't listen to me. So I'm not saying that young people do not smoke. I'm not saying young people do not drink. But I'm saying that we meet them where they're at. And we know that a huge part of transformation is actually working with them, addressing the issues, and making sure that all the supports are together. The other resource that we want to definitely provide Inglewood is transformative justice trainings. So what that means is basically when there's an issue, how do we resolve it community-minded, strength-based, and come to resolutions that actually build up young people and build up our community so that we have alternatives. So I have a copy of the flyer here. Please, all the neighborhood watches of Inglewood, I would really encourage teams of Neighborhood Watch to come for the training. The training is on August 7th and 8th, and then again on August 21st and 22nd. And we'll have more information at the open house, but I wanted to make sure that each of the city council members got a copy of this training. If I can hand it. And then quickly, one other resource that I have is Chuco's Justice Center has space guidelines that very clearly articulate freedom from all forms of violence, all forms of oppression, hate, hurtful language, free from any weapons, a right to a drug and alcohol-free space. So we really honor that. We understand that we can't do anything if we're under the influence, and so we try really hard to maintain that environment. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, could you pronounce your name again?
Sure, it's Kruti.
Krupi?
Kruti.
Okay.
It's spelled Kruti.
Okay, I wanted to say one thing. I've been to the Center times for award ceremonies, but I want to say again, one, I really respect the fact that you're taking on a task that's very difficult because, you know, helping people grow to be what they ultimately want to be is a difficult work, but you don't complain about it, and you talk about providing solutions, and you talk about the future as opposed to crying over the past. You know, there's so many people much older than yourself that haven't learned that lesson, that it really doesn't help to cry continuously about the past. So you have our great respect for what you're doing and our support.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We need it, that's for sure, and the young people need it. Unfortunately, just this week, we're mourning the death of one of our youth organizers, Alberto, who Nancy mentioned earlier. He was one of the victims of the car crash that happened on the 60 on Sunday. And
What's
it's
his last name?
Cazares, Cazarez, Alberto Cazares.
Casares, okay.
Rest in peace. But even something like that, you know, we're mourning over his loss, and we understand that we have to celebrate his life and continue his lessons. He was one of my greatest teachers.
We'll
At
close
22.
the meeting in his name today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your encouragement.
Welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Chelsea Bell. I'm a legal intern at the Youth Justice Coalition. I actually am a 3L with Eden at UCLA. And I just wanted to give my own testimony as well. I've only been with YJC for this summer and then last semester, and I sought out YJC. There are not organizations like that all over LA. There are not even other organizations like that here in Inglewood. It's incredible, and it's a service that we're all lucky to have. I was really surprised when I saw the video of the neighbor who commented, because I've been there and it's as far as I know in my own experience, I've never seen someone urinate anywhere around there. Not seen anyone smoke any weed around there, but those are things that happen all throughout any city. So it felt like an odd thing to complain about. There are multiple schools around us. There are, you know, we're right near a bunch of bus stops, and so we have a lot of activity, which is one of the benefits of being in that area, because we can reach a lot of youth and provide as many services as possible. But it's also, I think, something that we all have to work together to provide a safe environment, and so that's something that we obviously, as everyone has already commented, we prioritize super highly, but we need everyone's assistance on that. That's where the transformative justice circles are really unique, and that's what we would normally do with a neighbor who comes in and talks to us about something. So we are super excited to have an open house and hopefully welcome all of you in. But I also just wanted to give my support for YJC. I can't imagine Inglewood without it. It's one of your strongest suits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Stacy Cook, and I live in Inglewood, have my entire life. I grew up off of Imperial and Crenshaw. It's Hawthorne now, but when I was a little girl, it was Inglewood. Now I live off of Century and Crenshaw. I also work at Youth Justice Coalition. I'm a therapist there, and I understand the man's comment when he was upset and aggravated about the young people. It's very easy to get aggravated about young people. I have a 13-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 21-year-old who I also get aggravated with on a regular, consistent basis. So aggravation with young people is not something that I don't understand. I think the difference between aggravation and problem solving is where we as adults have to look at where we're moving with our young people who are aggravating. If a young person is urinating or smoking or fighting or yelling or cursing, we have a culture now where adults walk away, or adults complain to other adults, or adults call the police. And all those things are fine and dandy, I suppose, but I would prefer for adults to start stepping back into children's lives like they did when I was a little girl, my mom was a little girl. And we know that can be dangerous, but there are adults inside that you can speak with. There are adults in the area that work there that support the young people that someone who has a problem come and talk to. So there are other ways to solve problems. We can't watch all of our young people all the time, and they do make mistakes. A lot of our young people are abused, they're brokenhearted, they've seen a lot of death, and they've seen a lot of things that have hurt them and hurt the people around them by police, by schools, by other adults. So a lot of our young people are so hurt and so damaged and so angry that they do act out. But when I tell you that this organization transforms those young people, It has transformed young people to the point where they want to fight for their rights. They want to do what's best for themselves and their community. So they're not just looking at ways to correct one person and then send them on their way. They're looking at a way to correct, benefit, help, support, and heal, which I think is the most important thing, to heal these young people so they can be good citizens, and so they can make a difference not only in their world, but but the lives of their children and, other active adults. I see the best when they come talk to me one-on-one or in small groups. I hear their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations. I hear their frustrations, their fears, and their pains also. But I will tell you, every single young person that has come into my office has a hope, has a dream, and wants a future. They oftentimes don't know how to get it and don't know where to go and don't know who to ask for to get that support. So I am here in support of Youth Justice Coalition and in support of the young people, and to remember that they are young and they are angry and they are frustrated. They have been let down by adults time and time again. Our job as adults is to raise our young children, no matter how old they are. Remember, the brain isn't fully developed until 25. So until you're 25, you're still a child. Thank you.
I think it's a little longer than that. That hurt. Oh, that hurt.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. You know, times have changed. It used to be when adults could really help youngsters. But the system has changed so much now. I'm afraid to try to help these kids. I see a lot of kids, but I'm afraid to because, I'll give you an example. I was at Chili's one day, and this lady asked for a donation. I said, I'll buy you some food if you want that. She had 2 girls with her, 2 daughters. So I went in and paid for the food. And I left and drove around the block. She went in there and tried to get the money back. And then she got pissed off at me, and she knocked on my window. Said, you know something? You look like a pedophile. Look like a man that want to molest little girls. I saw you looking at my girls. So I say that to say this. The system is what's messed up. The system is what, putting a lot of these young kids out there on the street. I help a lot of kids myself, the ones that I can, the one but I blame the system. We're going to have to change the system before we can change these young kids. Been there, done that, tell you. I feel sorry for them. Love kids, don't have any myself, but I can reach out to these kids. I know where you're coming from. God bless you. Pray. A lot of people in this country don't want you to pray no more. But pray anyhow. I stand on top of the White House and pray if I want to. That's just the way it is. Thank you very much, and it's good to see the senior citizens here, and fabulous to see these young people here doing so. Keep your head up. You can do it. You can make it. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Let nobody hold you back. Study hard, pray hard, and come to city council meeting more often. Get up and say what you want to say. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. I have known the Youth Justice Coalition and worked with them for a minimum of 10 years. I am in awe of what happens when Youth Justice Coalition works with young people. Most of us have kids, and we've seen our kids grow and maybe some not go the right way, but in Youth Justice Coalition, not only are they have a head on their shoulders, but they have a social consciousness. They have a consciousness to do the right thing. What happens at Chuco's Justice Center is not just youth, it's youth and older people. It's youth and organizations. I represent 3 organizations. One deals with people in prison, and people in prison who come to Chuco's Justice, they're not in there after they get out for reentry help. There's a mingling of people there like you don't see anyplace else. And it's absolutely amazing and it's wonderful because it's in a positive atmosphere. What happens at it's a place I dreamed about all my life, and it finally came into realization because of the work of Youth Justice Coalition. I think we all dream about a better world, and to see it in a place, to see what's possible, because this place houses all these amazing organizations that work with people that are oppressed, with people that are in prison, with people that are less fortunate than other people. Saturday was beautiful. All Saturdays are beautiful, but our particular Saturday, we have a capoeira class going on there. We have a free legal clinic going on there, and that's followed by a woman who got her husband out of prison from all her hard work, helping other women, trying to get their loved ones out of prison. And that's followed by the Fair Chance Project meeting, which does reentry and gives hope for people that are coming out of prison, and that's followed by Welcome Home, that welcome people home from prison. And I look at the complexion of people on the city council, and I know you know the disparities which causes certain folk to be in prison. Well, Chuco's Justice Center and the organizations in there not only welcomes them, it helps reintegrate them into society so they can be the people they always wanted to be but not really ever had a chance to be. If you haven't visited it, and please come, because it is the most amazing place you'll ever see. Don't just come, though. Stay there for a bit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for this moment that I have to share just a couple of my thoughts with you. I'm a person that I got a lot of respect for Chuco's. I haven't had a lot of respect for a whole lot of places in this world. And I've been a juvenile delinquent since I was like 12 years old. I've been to YAs. I started going to YAs when I was 14. You know, I've been to most of them. And then in my adult thing, I've been in penitentiary 45 years. I've never been able to make it out here in this society. You know, I found these people, they found me or whatever it was, and they embraced me, and they took me. You know what I mean? And they trusted me, and they looked at my skills, and they wasn't intimidated by me. And they asked me to help them out, and I helped them out. And I became a peacekeeper. I became a mentor and motivator. And guys, for the guys that come out of prison, I'm working to keep them out. And they come and they see me. And they ain't got no excuse. And I tell them, man, look, man, you ain't got no excuse to recidivate just because you get mad at the world and you want to recidivate and go back. And I sit there and I counsel them. And I keep dudes from going back to prison. You know, and I'm a peacekeeper there. And I tell them one of the things that I tell them, I say, man, no matter how dissatisfied, I like what you said about don't look at the past with all that bitterness and all like that. And I tell them, man, look, no matter how bitter or angry that you are, don't self-destruct as a response. You know, do not self-destruct. This is what Chuco's teaches. And it teaches us to respond with our frustration, with our anger, and all like that, in creative ways and in beautiful ways to show people what's really inside of us. And this place gave me an opportunity to do that. My next birthday will be my 70th birthday on this planet. I've been on parole. Right now, I've been on parole 2.5 years. In 3 more months, I would be off parole for the first time in my life. I've never been able to successfully to get up off of parole. I've never been living clean out here on these streets. And thanks to Chuco, I'm out here living clean, and I'm doing a meaningful life, and I'm living a life that I'm proud of. And I'm an example for these guys, man, who want to get weak and do that stupid stuff, man. We can live, and these people are inspiration to me. I'm an inspiration to them, man, so we can live, so we can be about something, so we can have opportunity to bring the best out of us. You know, so that's why I'm proud to speak on Chuco. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very
I
much.
hope you consider. I ain't scared of you.
Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. This meeting is something that's historical for Inglewood, and it should be more of it. You're witnessing the future of Inglewood with these young people. And I must tell all of them, never give up, never give in. And I'm one that will never give up on any young person, no matter what. I've been over in South Central for over 50 years. And it is something that it's hard to describe the feeling when you see these young people. I'm a little emotional now. But anyway, this is what Inglewood should be about, seniors and young people. That's what Inglewood should be about. And the message should go loud and clear from this local community and to the state and to a national level, because they are not hearing it. They're not witnessing it. It's happening in Chicago. But the powers that be are not responding as they should. Why it's that way, I don't know. But anyway, it's going to hurt this country in the future. Now, getting back to Inglewood, I would hope that you would extend Mr. Campos as a city attorney, because he's doing a credible job, and we don't read a search for a new city attorney at this time. So you might just consider that. Also, we need, of course, with the budget committee and all of that, we need to really start that early so we can circle the wagons and do what's best for this city and help these young people with programs, YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs, and seniors with a senior center. It can be done. And other than that, we need a liaison between the city and the schools to get the schools back on track. But there's so many things can be done, but it's going to take people and this council and transparency. And that's what I've been saying. Now, as far as the finance with the 36 million, I've understood what it is. It's shifting money from obligation for the city for consideration by the state, which is good. So hopefully we're on the right track. But we're going to come out of it, but it's going to take all of us moving in the right direction. So when people come up and they're giving opinions or giving their concerns, it's not from a negative viewpoint. And again, I tell all these young people, stay focused. It's a new day coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. But at least we're down from $1 billion to $167 million. And we did that like in a month. So we're doing well. Come forward, please.
Council, community, friends. I welcome today what I have heard from these youth. It's tremendous, and they are tremendous. I have taught all grades, K through 6th, 9th through 12th, and adult education for over 50 years. I have met and been involved in the lives of the parents and these children. I didn't stop there as a teacher. I went to the homes. And there was a time, until we were cautioned not to and not permitted to, I visited every home of every pupil that I had. Until you go to the home, you can't really help that child, because that is the beginning of their life. And it needs a lot of support. Community and many other organizations that have been mentioned, in order to enable these young people to go forward in life. And they are entitled to that opportunity. I want to say that I have been greatly pleased today. I feel it's tremendous that they have come forward. I think that the fact that you can come forward, that you are reaching out and saying that I have hope and I want to be turned around, I have a direction in which to go, and that you're going in that direction. I wish you well. And if there's any way that I can help, and having known today about your organization, I look forward to seeing some way to be supportive of your organization. And I say again, God bless, and keep focused. Keep focused. If you have in your heart and in your prayers and your desires, you can achieve any goal that you set for yourself. And I thank you for coming today again.
Good afternoon to the beautiful people of the city of Inglewood. My name is Agustin Herrera, and I currently I also work with the Chucos Justice Center. Now, the Chucos Justice Center is just a center, and from within it, we have a lot of different things that we house within that building. One of the things that I work for the Youth Justice Coalition, and we have an educational branch, and that educational branch is called Friale High School. And Friale High School is an acronym that stands for Fighting for the Revolution that will educate and empower Los Angeles. Now, the high school component of it is one branch of it's a service that we provide for our community. We work with a lot of young people that are from the ages of 16 to 24. Now, I'm the one that does a lot of the counseling and register, so I get a lot of the students that are coming in from different places with the transcripts. Out of the 100 students that we serve in the community, 30% of those come from the city of Inglewood. Now, a lot of those students I don't want to say they're dropping out, but they're being pushed out of the city, of the public school system from the city of Inglewood. Many of the students are coming from Inglewood High School, the ones that we're receiving to our high school. Now, I'm not going to lie, the population that we work with, because we are a continuation school, is very difficult. The three main issues that we face within our community is one is a lot of the violence, and we got a lot of youth that are neighborhood affiliated. We also have a lot of young people coming in with a lot of addictions, and we also come in with a lot of people that come in with a lot of lack of resources, so dealing with housing issues and etc. So at the high school, when we get them, right, we don't know exactly where these young people come from. So we learn through the processes that we have, like what is it that they come in with, and through that process of learning what they come in with, I feel like we have certain procedures in place. Now I coordinate, like I'm coordinating more with the high school component of it. So we have a transformative justice process, and within that process, like we can't deal with a process by like somebody that has an addiction by just kicking them out of our location, because that's not dealing with the core issue of the problem. And I think that for us though, I think we have certain things in place, and I would love to invite y'all to come in and check out our open house where we can learn more of the solutions that we could have. Now, I do feel the brother's concern in terms of like figuring out what are the issues in our communities, but I feel like the Chucos Justice Center could be a space for we could not only do for the city of Inglewood, for the city of Los Angeles, but the whole nation, for we could let them know that we have a way that we could get more involved in our community efforts to get involved more with the community. And I feel like the Chucos Justice Center could be that space where we use it as an outlet, as a vehicle to get more involved in the community. Now, we lost one of our young people this year, and I'm tired of seeing young people die. And I think that we could use this space as a vehicle to create solutions to help our communities out as a whole community, because we can't do it by ourselves, but we need the community's help to figuring out how can we make this possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening to the Mayor and City Council. God bless you all tonight. My name is Arturo Frazier. I'm the Field Deputy to the Honorable Assembly Member Stephen Bradford, who services, who's the legislative rep for the city of Inglewood, and we would like to invite each and every one of you, especially the city council and all of our constituents here in the city of Inglewood, to our regional utility and commerce informational town hall meeting. This event will be taking place this Saturday in the city of Hawthorne at Memorial Park. I believe we emailed each and every one of you a flyer, invitation, personal invitation on behalf of the assembly member who I'm representing today. Unfortunately, he couldn't be at this meeting, but we would love to have each and every one of you to attend this event. We're going to have AT&T, DirecTV, Southern California Edison, Southern California Gas, Time Warner Cable, and a few other utility companies here representing and reaching out to inform and better serve the constituency in this region. Mr. Bradford is the chair of the Utilities and Commerce Committee, and so what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between these companies and the constituents to show how, we can have better relationship and some of the incentives that they provide, you guys could take advantage of. We know that California is having a great energy crisis and a water crisis. However, these companies have incentives and programs that are beneficial to businesses and constituents that are residents in our city that all of us could profit from. So just want to encourage you to come out this Saturday at 10 a.m. It's from 10 to 12 at Memorial Park in the city of Hawthorne, Regional Utility Town Hall meeting. Any questions? Bless you. Good to see you guys. You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. All right.
My name is Diane Sombrano, and just in case you hadn't noticed, yeah, I am one of those women. Yeah, been a secretary, had a secretary, so when you start telling me I don't know about secretaries, been there, done that. One of the things that is interesting that we just saw today was a host of young people that came up. And you know what? I'm going to get historical again, because that's what I do. Do you know that the people that you usually bash are the people who, for years and years, have been saying, we need the YMCA, we need a Girl Scout house replacement, even if it's not for Girl Scouts? We're the ones who said we should take care of our parks. Remember the soccer field thing? That dirt lot that will someday, maybe, eventually, probably more likely because it's election season, but will eventually get grass or turf or something. As y'all ran around to your block parties, I hope you were invited to them and didn't feel compelled to crash them. But how is it none of you noticed that some of our parks were locked on July 4th? Reaching out to community. Except in some areas, I guess. But you see, some of us have always said, you need to take care of our young people, you need to take care of our seniors, and that we're the ones who are continually bashed and said we shouldn't be looking back. But looking back helps us prepare for the future. You cannot successfully run a marathon race if you don't bother to notice that your leg is broken and you probably ought to stop and try to get it fixed first. Otherwise, you just do more and more and more damage to that leg. And yet sometimes it seems as if when we get up and say, let's talk about a real problem so that we can really fix it, you decide that fixing the problem means bashing the person who tells you you've got the flat tire or the red light on your dashboard is going off, because it gives you great pleasure in saying, but I just got a paint job on my car, who cares if it runs? And that's what we see here, week after week. Now, I know you want praise. That's what you live for. Some of you live for having somebody take your picture, put it on a wall, or assign you a red cape. But you know what? The people who are in the trenches doing the work are the ones you should be acknowledging. The guys who pull the weeds, the guys who paint the curbs. But of course, we're eliminating their positions, aren't we? And we can't figure out why some of us go, man, we need to make the community look good before we spend another $50,000 trying to encourage tourism? Really? You spent 50 grand to encourage tourism. I want to fire up a bus and take them on my version of a community that needs repair. And it starts on our streets, not on an ad somewhere else saying, come see us. Because if you want people to see us, I'll be happy to help that happen.
Thank you, Ms. Sobrano.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. So inspiring, I agree.
Mayor, I forgot to mention one announcement. I can do it in 1 minute, or if not, 30 seconds.
Okay.
On Tuesday, July 29th, from 6 to 9 p.m. at Loyola Law School, we're doing a hearing on girls of color and the crisis of poverty, criminalization, and building pathways forward. Confirmed are Judge Nash, Avis Ridgely Thomas, Assemblymember Weber, and there'll be a few other folks. I think Judge Groman is also on the bill, and some of these youth here will be testifying. I just forgot to mention that. Tuesday, July 29th, 6 to 9 p.m., Loyola College. Thank you so much. Thank you. Loyola Law School, tripping. Loyola Law School. I don't want to send you the wrong place. Thank you.
Got it.
Hello, Inglewood family. I've heard a lot of good things from the audience out here today. My name's Wild Bill Widener, and I grew up in Inglewood and been here since 1951, and probably been through some of the trials and tribulations these kids have went through, and the people they're working with. You know, my best buddy overdosed and died when we were 15 years old, so the drug usage goes back quite a while. Presently, I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, 35 years clean and sober. And, you know, I know what they're going through, and they need a lot of support. I've been over there on different occasions and stuff. In fact, when Danny Tabor was in, he was over there when I was there one time. And, you know, we know what's going on. And, you know, me being involved with Narcotics Anonymous and seeing I was here the other day too when the people were complaining about what's going on, you know, and they see a bunch of people sitting around and they naturally think it's a gang. You know, everything's a gang today, and that's the way the law enforcement gets their money. We got a gang problem, and you know, everything's a gang. So when my kids, I grew up here and I raised kids here. And I had 4 kids, and I married a gal with 4 kids, and we had 8 kids, and we had our gang, if you want to call it that, you know. But I know what all it is, and the drugs, and the shucking and jiving and conniving and scheming and stealing, and, you know, all the things that go with it, you know. I've been shot several times and cut up and all these different things that happen while you're out there doing those things. And I've been over there, they've got a law program that they, once a month they have a particular day that people that have been out on parole and everything, they go back over there and they can get their records expunged and all kinds of stuff. So they're doing a lot of public things that's not happening in any of these places around the city that I've seen. I've been coming to these meetings about 5 years ago now, and there's not too many real positive things, but we need to project on a community center for one thing, Boys and Girls Club or YMCA or some things like that
Well, Bill,
help the area grow.
Could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are you aware that YMCA's and Boys and Girls Clubs are nonprofits? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, they're nonprofit.
Okay, you know how they're funded?
No, I don't.
By community donations. And here's the thing that bothers me a little bit. Not once has anyone who said we need to have a YMCA said that I've raised $100,000 towards his operation.
Well, I understand the
No, but let me-
fundraising stuff because I've been involved in
I get it,
nonprofit
but
organizations that
But
do
what
that.
I'm saying is that when people come up and say this, they have to understand that's a commitment. It's not a commitment for 1 year. Once you involve children in these programs, you need to understand that you need to have some long-term funding commitment. The cities don't fund YMCA's. Cities don't provide land for YMCA's. What you can do, and what I'm prepared to do, is get a grant from the Boys and Girls Club to establish a Boys and Girls Club. But you know why we can't do that? Because we don't have a commitment for long-term volunteer fundraising. And so that's the problem.
Yeah, well, in nonprofit, for instance, I was involved in a place called Imperial Auto Club in the city of Paramount, and we bought the property out there, and we've paid it off, and that was over 35 years ago, and that it started happening and built another building and all kinds of stuff, and it's all for Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous meetings and stuff, but they rent the meeting rooms out and all that stuff, which keeps it operating, you know, and so you got to get the seed planted first of all. I've been coming to these meetings for about 5 years, and I've never seen any kind of a seed being planted for anything for rehabilitation. I can tell you that for a fact.
Okay,
And I know my time's up, so.
thank you. But it was really good talking to you.
Oh, and you've got some seniors here that was here, and I know they want to be heard about some things, so.
Okay, we'll close public comment. Well, come on, you guys, this isn't like a game show. Want to talk? Let's get up, make yourselves known.
I'll wait for you.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Bailey. I live in the 3rd District. There's a problem in the City Hall. Well, because at 6 o'clock in the evening, this building is closed at 6 o'clock, locked up like a drum. But there's a problem because there are committee meetings that come after 6, sometimes 7 they start. So, Mr. Mayor, I would like to see if you would know if there's anybody who's coordinating these meetings with somebody who's locking the doors, because I've come to these meetings and been locked out of the building.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to get back to getting a coordinator to look at the schedule for the City Hall, for the meeting room downstairs. So, please, can you do that and help us out so that the people will not be
If I have
coming?
to stand by the door myself, Stuart.
Okay.
If I have to
Oh,
stand. by the
and we
door
still do have a problem with the downtown looking filthy and nasty, but we do have to have it steam cleaned. And I understand that that does take Public Works money, equipment, and time. We can't do that overnight. We're gonna have to get the coordinator and coordinate this effort to get all of downtown steam cleaned. That's all I had to say. Thank you, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and the City Council persons and our friends. I'm here to speak for the senior citizen. I'm Gloria Taylor, and we're interested in the transportation of the I-Line. We're wondering if you could be considerate enough to give us another stop that would be like a U from Market Street up to Kaiser, and then come around to the City Hall, and then go back to Market Street and make that loop, because the seniors and the public would certainly benefit going to Kaiser. They get their medicine, they see the doctors, and for their safety, because if they walk up there from Market and come back, sometimes they miss the I-Line and have to wait on the streets. So this is only a request, if you could consider that from your transportation department, and if that could be done, it would certainly be considerate. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know what, Mr. Falco will talk with Ms. Barnes and see if we can do that.
And I just think one more thing. Do you have an AARP office in Inglewood now? There used to be one here.
I'm not aware that we do.
Well, is there a possibility that you could get a partnership again and have them, an office in Inglewood? There's only one in Long Beach, I think, and I think one in Los Angeles.
Okay, I don't know what that takes, but we'll inquire.
Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Eleanor Haynes. I'm speaking in behalf of the seniors at Inglewood Center. A lot of times, some of the people do not have transportation to get to dialysis, the doctor's office, or sometimes comes to the center. I guess sometimes, most time they come to the center is because they may be, ill and need help, or maybe they're, need company and maybe to socialize. And we have been problems with the transportation. There's not enough buses, and most times when some of the people be agitated, they take it out on the drivers, and that is not right as well. So could you please, Councilman and Mayor Butts, try to do something about transportation for those elderly people, because they don't have, most of them don't have transportation. They can't get to dialysis on time, okay? And we really, really need that.
Okay, so let me see what you're asking. You're asking that we provide transportation from the senior center at the park to dialysis services?
Yes, most of them, they're late for their appointments, and
Is that
there's
something-
only sometimes 2 buses that are running. Sometimes it's only one, and the drivers are really getting a bad time because they're not there. That's not their problem, but it's not their fault. But sometimes the people be agitated, and they really give them a bad time as well. So why can't we have, some more drivers or some buses to help us out?
Okay, first of all, I'd have to be sure about that this is a service that we provide on the city's dime, because it seemed difficult to accommodate a number of seniors that have a number of different doctor's appointments. So I need to, before I say we'll commit to something, I need to see what it is we do, what we do, and then see what's feasible for us to do, given the fact that there are a lot of seniors with a lot of transportation needs. I appreciate you bringing this to our attention, but before we commit to something, we need to know what we can accomplish and what we accomplish right now, all right? But I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. And would you give your name and phone number to the good-looking sergeant there in the back of the room? Yes, that gentleman.
But at one time, we did have 3 or 4 buses.
I
and,
absolutely believe you. I absolutely believe you.
All right. Okay, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
For hearing me.
Okay, my name is Linda Rogers. I'm recently transported from Akron, Ohio. Okay, and I attended a meeting here before, but this meeting I feel is more like the meeting I'm used to going to at home. But anyways, I represent the senior, I'm representing the senior. And as far as transportation, that's another department. But, gee whiz, anyways, we have speaking on transportation, we have a shortage of drivers and everything. And the residents that the senior residents that depend on the transportation from the city, is very inadequate, and I ride a lot with the drivers and everything, and I know what they be going through and this and that. So it's on the transportation department, and I offered to help too. But anyways, it's a very prominent problem. And anyways, I want to commend you on everything. Like I said, I really transported down here for my son and everything. And I came to Inglewood, as a transplant. But I see a lot of things here that can be worked out, and worked on. And I'm here to offer a solution also. I'm available to work, even though I'm a senior. But anyways, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have my CDLs too, a CDL license, and I'm an ex-PD.
Oh, my goodness.
Back in the day, in the 70s. But anyways, no, I offer the solution, dispatching, because I feel I know Inglewood pretty good. So anyways, offer the dispatch, volunteer, but I have no, yeah. But anyways,
And I want to ask you one question. You said this is more like what you're used to. You came to an earlier meeting?
no, I said the meeting I came to before was,
You didn't like it?
oh, no, no,
It's a little bit more civil, right?
right. The meeting I came to before was when they were protesting, and I couldn't, for the sake of me, because I went to the meetings back home, how they get up here, the protesters, we did our protesting outside the city hall building. They wouldn't get them up here on the elevator on the 9th floor. But anyways, and it was disruptive.
All right,
you
thank
know.
you.
But anyways, this is more like a council meeting, But anyways, and getting to the senior center.
We were not going to get to that right today.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, then.
All right.
Okay, I got a few items I need to push on the council right quick. First of all, I'm gonna give y'all the plus on those parking permits. That was the best strategy in the world to start charging. You should have been charging. For years, I've been saying it should have been a fee for these permits because people take advantage of them, seriously. And another thing I wanted to bring up about the Hollywood Park, Mayor, are we having a community center over there?
Are we doing what now?
Are we having a community center as they promised, for what Fish and all of them saying, like instead of a boy and girl club, you have a community center to help do different things with kids and adults?
Actually, no. Any programming that occurs for children or seniors in the recreation area comes out of our Parks and Recreations programs. And as we're able to build our revenues and augment our staff there, we'll be able to bring more programs online under the city's umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But cities don't fund YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs. Those are nonprofits that are separate from cities. And while we would facilitate and help anyone that was going to take the bull by the horns and work with the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA to bring, to work out a deal that the city could participate in, we'd be glad to. But we can't commit to long-term fundraising for a nonprofit.
Oh,
That's why you've never heard us say anything, because I thought the
Right.
people that were so into YMCA's and Boys and Girls Clubs knew their funding apparatus, but I guess they don't.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I never knew that.
Okay, there you go.
Now, that's good to know. It's good for everyone to know. I'm glad I asked about that. Also, I want to amend Artie Fields, the city manager, and the city attorney and the council. A1, y'all, guess what, Wanda? Finally, nothing on the agenda with the city employees. My God, thank you, Jesus, y'all settled that thing. With the SCIU, the union, oh my God, thank you, Jesus, mayor and council, everybody. I'm so glad y'all settled this protest, this agreement. I'm so glad. I know the employees are happy too. You finally came to an agreement. Congratulations, guys. And another thing, what else I wanted to mention? About the kids, the Chuco Center. I used to go there all the time. I was a frequent person there for years. And a lot of things that the kids do, they don't have control of. But I think, they have guards, and like the guy was saying, what we should do, instead of the police department harassing the kids, I think they should go by there and patrol through there, because it is our borderline for LA and Inglewood. And we do need a lot of more patrol on that area. And I think that's all we need, Alex, is have someone, officer, one of the block, you know what I'm trying to say, that we need and should have. Osorio to roll through there and stuff like that. We need that kind of cop. We need that position filled. We don't need a police to be inside mayor patrolling when we don't have nobody to take care of the people.
Okay.
Osorio need to be out there helping the people on the blocks and stuff like that, like the trash cans. Now here we trying to do it. Now you wait, well, hold up. You got to give me a minute now. You got to give me a minute.
Ms. Austin, I
Please.
don't have to give you a minute, but I'd be glad
Please.
to. I'd be glad to give you
Please, thank you, Mayor, thank you, Mayor. Okay, but like that, you know, stuff like that, we do need that, Alex. And what else I wanted to bring up?
I gave you a minute.
You ain't never lied. What was it? I guess I did it. Man. I don't need it after all. Anyway, guys, congratulations for getting that stuff for making an agreement with it.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll hear from Ms. Sly, and then we'll close public comment. Thank you for waiting patiently, too.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. First of all, the young people that came up to this podium and spoke. My heart goes out to them. And anybody over the age of 45 had better wake up and start paying attention to these youth. They are our future. And they are beautiful souls. But they have not had anybody, from what I'm understanding, who are trying to understand them. We created this world for them, that they're living through. The incarceration numbers are through the roof, especially for the black and brown. We've got to do something about that. So I have a suggestion. For this Youth Justice Coalition Community Center, I think it would be great if you, as the city government, would donate part of your salaries to assist them. I do.
Why not all of it? Why stop there? Why not our retirements, too? Since you're giving it away, why not that, too?
I'm not being facetious, Mayor.
Right, okay.
I'm telling you what we need to do for this youth.
I understand.
But every time I come up here, it's always like, it's comedian time. Mrs. Sly's at the microphone, and so let's all laugh and have a ball about what she says and ignore her.
No, Ms. Sly.
That's what it seems like to me.
I'm sorry if it seems like that.
But, as I was saying, not only you as our government, but the residents as well, because these are our children and grandchildren, and we better pay attention. We better make sure that they're educated. We better make sure that they have jobs and a decent way to live their life. We had that. And you know, when you get up into this heady area where you're making great salaries and, you know, you have all the conveniences, these kids are scraping. They need our love and they need our support. And I hope that I'm not articulating myself very well because I'm angry. I'm angry at what the United States has done to our youth, and especially our black and brown youth. I'm so angry. And I have written the President of the United States. It's not his fault, but the people that he has to work for, or work with, or try to work with, it's their fault. And all of you, if you don't heed the needs of these youth. Yeah, we do need a YMCA. We need a farmer's market where they can get healthy food. That even more than streets repaired. Oh, thank you, by the way, for all the things that you are doing for the city of Inglewood, even though it's not really apparent to me
I got
as
it.
as a citizen.
I got it.
So I will be looking forward to the monthly newsletter so I can see what this government is really doing for this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Austin, let's not go back and forth. I think she was, you know.
Thank you, Mayor and the City Council, everybody else. I just was listening to the youngsters here too, and it made me think about, I transitioned from a zygote to a human, and I've been transitioning all these years. And I've also had a spiritual awakening years ago. But I remember these youths make me think of when I was growing up in Los Angeles. What we had was the DAPS. I know we had the YMCA and everything like that, but what really influenced me was the DAPS, Deputy Auxiliary Police. And today, that may not be as feasible as helping these youths learn how to, the money is important too. It takes money for everything around here. And the city can't do it all. But grant writing, no one teaches the youth, the youngsters that I know of, about grant writing. But I think that's one important thing that everyone should learn to read and write, and grant writing should be a part of it. Now, I know that there is a way to get some funding to help these youth learn this grant writing at the Chuco Center. I will try to find out more about it, but just to think about what children can do. These aren't children; these are young adults. What they can do to help themselves, because a lot of times no one else wants to. And I hear people, oh, I'm too old for that now. I don't want to help this. I don't want to do that. I've done that already. But if so, then we're going to help these kids do it. And that's the thing that I think is important. And also, the Senior Citizen Committee meeting is Monday, the 21st. And that's another thing. The seniors, you got something earmarked for them. There can be something earmarked for grant writing for these youngsters. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, we will close public comment. Council comments. Councilman Dotson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just very quickly, I did visit the Chico Center several times now. The last time I was over there, I stayed quite a while. I went to some of the little seminars they were having. I also went in this room, and I will never forget this room, where they do graffiti. The whole room is graffitied. And it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, that these kids, I don't know if they do it in the room rather than do it out in the street. I hope that's why it's there. It was very amazing. We have some kids who come through there who are artists without any training at all, because those walls, paintings and stuff that I saw was really something great. And I'll be back again, and I'll spend a little time just as I did before. I went all the way to the back, went upstairs in the offices and everything. So I do know something about the Justice Center, and they're doing a great job. It's just they're dealing with youth of the day. And it's a very difficult task, and they need a lot of money. And it's like anything else. When you're dealing with the public, you're going to have people that will do exactly right, and you're going to have people who are going to do it exactly wrong. So my hat's off to them for what they are doing. I want to make sure that All of you know about the closing of the Forum parking lot because of the MTV Awards. We've been able to use this parking lot for our exercise and our walking. I walk there as well as the rest of you. And that parking lot's going to be closed from August 5th to August 27th. So please put that on your notes so we don't interfere with what Madison Square Garden have to do for the MTV Awards. The other thing, I want to thank Richard Galindo for inviting me to their block party on 68th Street. I had a wonderful time. They had great participation. I never seen so many pop-ups in the street, but they did a great job. I also want to thank the 95th Street Block Club, Brenda Coleman, Houston, for inviting me to their block club. I had a wonderful time. They had some great barbecue over there as well. So once again, I want to thank them for inviting me. And I want to say that Inglewood is on the move. Mayor, could I have?
Of course.
We can't correct 10 years of neglect in a couple of years. So please give us a break. I've sit here for a little over a year now, and I'm amazed at what we've been able to do. I am so grateful for this council and this Public Works Department and the Parks Department, because I've seen things come about that I never dreamed would come about in the little time that I've been here. So, and as far as businesses are concerned, I'm so happy to see all these new businesses licenses go out. I don't know what to do. That means tax dollars. And if the people come here to do business, evidently they think they're going to make money, or they wouldn't come here. So let's be happy for what we have and be grateful that this city is doing very well. And we're going to do better. But it takes all of us. And let's be positive about some of the things. I mean, we can't always be negative about everything. There are some good things happening here. And we'll work on the bad things. But let's be congratulatory and slap each other on the back about some of the good things. So that way, it'll lead to better things. So I thank you all for coming. I appreciate your comments. And I really appreciate the kids coming to tell us more about the Justice Center. Thank you, and I hope we'll see you next week.
Thank you. In case the seniors have to leave before we finish this, I got some information. As far as transportation, we've been down 3 drivers and a dispatcher, and we've been trying to hire more people for months. And so that's what you see. The lack of staffing is not because the positions were cut, it's because we haven't been able to recruit. And backgrounds are taking a long time because of the type of work that they do. We have to background people properly that are going to transport seniors. So bear with us. And we have a stop at Manchester and La Brea. The next stop is at Fur and Regent. Changes in the route, though, would require approval from the MTA, but we'll look into it. So I wanted you to get that information before you left. Before we go on with the council comments, I see the Senator Bradford is here, and I wanted to ask him if he wanted to speak. I was going to offer him that opportunity. A good friend of Inglewood.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Council, for this opportunity. I'm just here as what we call summer break during the month of July, where we do not have session in Sacramento, so it affords me the opportunity to come before all of our councils and just briefly give you an update of where we are legislatively. You know, last month on June 15th, we passed a balanced budget in the state of California. A week later, the governor signed it. We have $1.5 billion in our rainy day fund, and we're moving well and restoring a lot of the cuts that we've made over the last 6 years during this tough economic time in the state of California and across this nation. But I just want to commend this council with the progress that it's making. And also thank the mayor. He was just in Sacramento our last week of session 2 weeks ago, testifying on some pension liability and a proposition that we had passed a number of years ago, and the money had got diverted due to the abolishment of redevelopment, a vote again that I often state I regret I had never made, because we have struggled in the legislature to restore and piecemeal back many of the successful programs that work not only in Inglewood but throughout many of the cities throughout the state of California that had redevelopment agencies and were using them well. So I just want to thank the mayor for his advocacy and his strong voice, the council as well for always engaging me in my office, and we're going to continue to help Inglewood progress in the fine fashion that it's been doing for the last couple of years. I just wanted to be real quick on the Justice Center. And as you all know, I chair the Select Committee on the Boys and Men of Color. And when I had an opportunity to see Ms. Denard, I said, let me run up here, because this young lady has been in the Capitol more times than anybody I know. And her testimony is right on point, and it speaks to what we need to do, not only as Californians, but as Americans, to respect and encourage and support the young folks in our community. Again, I chair the Select Committee on Boys and Men of Color. It's a committee that we've started a little over 4 years ago, and we said, why do we need a committee on the status of boys and men of color? But when we see the criminal justice system, and we see the school, the prison pipeline, when we see the dropout rate, when we see all those things that are affecting Latino and African American boys, as well as young ladies, more negatively than any other society, it's important that we have these type of organizations. So much so that—
This doesn't happen all the time.
I understand. But so much so that even the president has followed California's lead. We often say, so goes California, so goes the nation. What did he do in February? He announced My Brother's Keepers, and I was invited to the White House on that kickoff. And it's similar to what we've been doing in California, and it's similar to what Inglewood should be proud of with Free LA and the justice system. So I'm here to say whatever we can do collectively, not as a city, but as a community, to uplift these young folks. Count me in as a partner, and I know the city as well. So thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Assemblyman. Councilman Padilla. Oh, he used your time.
It's all good. And it went to the right person, too. But just a couple of quick comments. Number one is, it's just good and refreshing to see our young men and women to come up here, to have the courage to come up and they say one of the biggest fears is public speaking, but to come up and speak with passion and commitment and talk about experiences that you've had. And it's good to see that there's organizations, not only Chucos, but others that are around to help these young men and women find themselves and what it is that they want to do. I've always said, people have to discover what it is that interests them, but when you discover it, hold on to it, take it, and do the best you can at it, so you can be a positive reflection for yourself and your family as your reputation precedes you so often. And I got to just real quick add that back in the mid-'90s, when a lot of law enforcement agencies had a detective division, as part of that detective division, you had juveniles section. And at Santa Monica Police Department back then, our chief of police, the mayor, was innovative in deciding that we needed to have a youth services division to take it away from the juvenile section and actually create a division to deal with these young men and women and deal with the issues that they're facing, not only for today, but strategizing and thinking about the future. And I was fortunate as well to be one of the commanders in that division and to work with different organizations in the city of Santa Monica and the outlying area to deal with these young men and women. So I commend Chucos for what you're doing in the community, what you're doing to help these young men and women, and continue to do it, because God knows it's an important job that not too many are called on to be able to do what you do. So keep up the good work. I just want to announce that we talked about Public Works, and we talked about the good things that they're doing. I got to tell you, they hired a company. The city contracted out with Trimming Land Company, and they're the company that's been out here taking care of our trees. They have an arborist on call as part of their crew, and they've done an outstanding job. Specifically, I'm talking about District 2, where they've gone on and really did some tree trimming and did it right. and it looks very good. I've received nothing but positive feedback from the community. You know, somebody mentioned the 4th of July barbecues and block clubs and whether or not we're welcome to come to these. And I got to tell you, we were welcome to come to so many of them that unfortunately we weren't able to make it to every single one on the list. But it's a good thing. You know, people welcomed us. We had some great conversations to talk about some of the, not only the concerns in the community, but personal stuff that they wanted to share with us. Exciting things about their loved ones that are graduating from high school or going on to universities or graduating from the university, or jobs that they found. It's a chance for us to connect one-on-one. And so we take it, you know, we enjoy these opportunities and take advantage of every chance we get. So I know that, you know, the summer months are here and we'll be attending more and more of them. And it's a great opportunity for us to continue to connect with the community at large. I want to just thank all those community block clubs during the 4th of July weekend that welcomed us to their families and to their gatherings. As part of being together as a community, in District 2, I'm hosting an event along with the mayor and the council. We're teaming up on doing what we call Discover District 2 event. It's an opportunity to come in and see some of the good businesses that we have in our district, an opportunity to come down and just get to mingle with not only business owners, but residents, community owners. So that's going to be held on August the 9th. There's flyers out on the table. They're out there for you to please come out. This is open to everyone in the city of Inglewood to just come out and enjoy the afternoon. We're going to have the opening ceremonies at 11 a.m. So please come out and support this event. The proceeds from this event are going right back. You talk about our youth. They're going right back to the kids, to our students from the Inglewood High School, the JROTC program, and to the arts program. So it's a fundraiser to be able to help these kids do what it is that they want to do and to improve themselves. This coming Friday, the LAX Inglewood Chamber is hosting their golf tournament out in Whittier. If you're not already registered for a foursome, I know there may be a couple of more spots available. If you're interested, please contact the chamber so that they can put you on there. But again, that's this coming Friday out in Whittier. That being said, we had a great turnout today. I want to thank everybody for coming out and being a part of this council meeting and sharing the good things that we're doing in our community. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Councilman Morales.
Thank you. Just briefly try and touch a couple things. First, 4th of July. Block clubs in Inglewood are the best. I have to tell you, that's one of the best things we have going. Like Alex said, there were so many of them, we couldn't stop at all of them. But I can't tell you how positive people are when we're there. So that's something that you could say whatever you want, but the truth is we feel it one way or another. 4th of July, just want to thank the Chief of Police and his staff. Just did a tremendous job of manning the streets that day. I mean, it's amazing how many people are on the streets, walking around, and having a great time, and it just takes a full-on staff. They did a great job. Want to mention the LA Business Journal. Wasn't going to mention it, but since, you know, we're always kind of seeing some comments that come from other folks that tend to push the negative part about it, I have to tell you, the LA Business Journal just doesn't go into any city and tells the entire nation that someone's doing a good job. But they came here, and the article was amazing. The front page, LA Business Journal. You can't turn it off. You can't stop the city from doing what it's doing. You can either help it, or you could just kind of sit on the side and just point at the little things that are still wrong, which there'll always be something. Chuco's Learning Center. We're lucky to have it. I've only been there one time, very early on. I think it had just opened. Mayor, I think we attended the opening, one of the openings, but I have to say that just the feeling and kind of connection that both the volunteers and the youth have sends a tremendous sign to what we have here. So I didn't see the video of anything negative happening there, but you know, it's all relationship with the community. The truth is, once they know what's going on there, once your neighbors know what's going on within the building, everybody's going to respond positively. But that connection obviously still needs to be made if that video went out there. But you have the core of what you need. The mayor hit on the seniors' transportation. That's something that we always have prided ourselves in. The I-line, I'm glad we're going to look into it because it's just one block, I guess, west to take them to Kaiser. So hopefully, they'll respond. But as the mayor said, he addressed it. Obviously, let's see, what else? That was, the streets. Thank you, Ms. Austin, for pointing that out. I hope it gets me some streets, but the truth is, as the mayor said, Districts 1 and 4 are getting streets this year. We're actually getting sidewalks in District 2 and 3, and they're doing a great job. I'm gonna have to take you on a tour of my district so you can see some of the nice streets we actually did get done this year. But thank you very much, Ms. Austin. And thank you, Mayor and City Council.
Councilman Franklin.
Yes, I just wanted to take time to say thank you. For many of you know that I was having a challenge with my oldest daughter, and that I've asked for your prayers and loved ones, where she had experienced a medical procedure that resulted in her having paralysis on her right arm and right leg. And since September of last year, we've been in prayer and hoping for the healing to manifest. And I'm just proud to say I wasn't able to make the block club meetings as I was geared up to do, because my daughter said, "Dad, I got a surprise for you." And she came to my home all whole. She was able to walk on her own, no longer needing a walker. In fact, she's now able to drive. And so all those that believe prayer changes things, and my families are prayer warriors, we just thank you very much for your outreach. In addition to that, in particular, all my colleagues here and the city treasurer, and I don't leave anybody out, the city clerk, the staff, they all in unison, and it manifests, the healing manifests, so we just thank you. I think also what's interesting is having the Chuco Center speaking today, but some not listening to what they were saying, that come here regularly. And one of the comments made by one of the representatives talked about aggravation versus problem solving. We have dealt with a number of individuals who regularly come that is agitated, aggravated about certain issues of life, whether it's the city has control over or not, but no problem, but no offering any solutions. And so that is a concern. And that another person mentioned that it's a society that's a problem, it's the system. No, change starts with us. And so when you're ready to assume that responsibility and rise to the occasion, I welcome for you to be part of the solution at Chuco. In addition to that, I also attended the Independent Cities Association seminar over the weekend, and we talked specifically about state issues and your issue, and you take it for granted, and that's the water that when you turn on your tap or turn on your faucet thinking the water's going to be there. Trust me, after going through the seminar, we dealt with the water drought, the delivery, supply, and recycling, and it is no joke about the Colorado River that provides us water, as well as the Bay Delta. That is something that we have to address and are addressing. We also had part of the seminar dealing with cyber security in your city. Hackers are taking great pride of preying on us. You as individuals, whether you're using credit cards such as Target or the social media such as Facebook, and they're trying their best to take advantage of you. We also had the alternative fuel vehicles, in which we're now coming up with different vehicles, of hydrogen vehicles and electrical vehicles versus just gasoline issues. And then two other topics I just want to raise had to do with updates on AB 109, which prisoners being released from prisons. The Smart Justice was Department of Justice working in unison with a number of police agencies throughout the state of California. We dealt with medical marijuana issues and the new issue about e-cigarettes. I just learned that e-cigarettes, there's actually is nicotine in those. They just a diluted version, in some cases even higher in nicotine. And then the last subject matter we dealt with was human trafficking and commercial exploitation of children in our communities. And the FBI representatives was there, as well as a victim that shared with us about how she was abused starting at the age of 17 and had to fight to get out of the slave trafficking that was going on, and was able to eventually be able to go after those that abused her to be able to be made whole. So a lot of interesting things going on. I just thanked everyone on a positive note that are looking to help to move this city forward and want to continue to move forward. And I thank you, Mayor, for your quick response on the concerns that the seniors had here. And yes, it's great that we have daytime council meetings, as you can see here, but your quick response on being able to let the seniors know about their areas of concern regarding transportation for their medical needs as well. I think it's also critical that we dispel any misnomers with reference to the funding and its appropriation, whether it's the senior center or even the Central Boulevard, which we're all on sync of trying to get it repaved. And on that note, everyone have a great day.
You know, I wanted to start with a couple negative things and build ourselves back to the positive, because we've really evolved in these last few months as a community, because, you know, some of the ridiculous stuff is starting to wane, and it's isolated to a couple. It's gotten to the point, we used to be the big things. It'd be like, why did you give an $18 million loan that'll become a grant for the forum? It was this, it was that. And the reality was, it was a great investment, and the majority of that money would have gone back to the state when redevelopment demise. It was a great thing for the community. And now we've evolved to saying, well, you went to block club parties, but I hope you were welcome, or did you crash them? Who says things like that, right? Why do we still have people that want to turn overwhelmingly positive behaviors, community things, into negatives with snarky little things like that? We have to grow beyond that. As it relates to charity and giving, Ms. Sly, I would tell you that no one should demagogue someone and say, you should give to this. What people usually do, they get up and say, I believe in this, and I am going to give so much of my money. You shouldn't decide for other people and do it in public on TV as though, as if we don't say, oh yeah, we'll give you all our money or we're bad people. I'm going to tell you that I personally, I donate significant amounts of money to different charitable causes. I have a letter right here that I'll read from Dear Mr. Butts. I would thank you for your generosity by giving me the opportunity to be a recipient of this scholarship. This scholarship will definitely support me financially into furthering my education. I'm a business major that will be attending the University of Long Beach in fall of 2014. My goals are to work for a Fortune 500 business company where I can grow in the business area and provide my community, Inglewood, with support through scholarships and amazing programs like the Fit for Gold. By awarding me this scholarship, I am now one step closer to making my long-term goal into a reality. This scholarship has inspired me to help others by giving back to my community. Once again, thank you very much for this amazing scholarship, and I really hope to one day help others like you helped me. There are things that we do. There are people that approach my assistant on a regular basis. We have a young person that's about to be put out of her home, her apartment, and she needs money to catch up her rent. We've tried to direct her to churches that provide rental assistance, and I've offered to match whatever this church will give to put her back into her apartment, because she's a young woman that's struggling. Her mother's homeless, and she's willing to work and work hard, and she is working right now. So to sit and do this, you don't know what we do. You just shouldn't do things like that. I'd be glad to hear whatever you decide you want to spend your money on, but I have no shame about giving back to others. I'm blessed for what I've achieved in my life. I'm blessed to make the money that I do, and I recognize that every day. I never turn myself away from anyone at a 7-Eleven. I feel it's like a tax, but I'm glad to give my money to people that therefore, but for the grace of God, go I. So it's just, to me, you shouldn't do that to people, and I'll tell you that directly. Now, to get back to the positive, you know, we've heard over the years how the city was going to go bankrupt and how we owe $1 billion, and now Mr. Matthews down to $167 million. I don't know how we paid off $800 million, but we did it some way, so thank you for that. Maybe we'll get that $167 million out of the way, too. But here's the thing. The LA Business Journal is been rated 5 out of the last 6 years the top business journal in the United States of America. Now, they didn't come here for one day and do an interview with me. They've been studying this city since January of this year. They've been back repeatedly, looking at us with a microscope. And I'm going to read you, not only were we the main article for the journal this week, but we were also the editor's commentary. And it says Inglewood for the score. And it says, That may be a surprising suggestion, meaning that football could come here. In recent years, okay, in recent decades, Inglewood hasn't exactly been a prime destination for young hipsters, moneyed West Siders, or even counterculture types. So who'd want to go there on a Sunday to see a football game? But Inglewood is making a turnaround, as you can see in the article by David Nussbaum on page 1 of this issue. Now, this isn't us singing our praises as I hear. This is not us looking through rosy glasses. This is the top business journal in the country that made us their feature story in their issue where they celebrated being named the top business journal in America. There comes a point when you just have to give it up and say, gosh, we are doing some things right. No, we're not running with a broken leg. We're doing well. So when we talk about these things, it's not to sing anybody's praises. It's so that we enjoy the synergy that comes with being recognized for doing things right. When I came to office, we had $11 million in the bank. We had $22 million the start of this fiscal year, and we'll probably have $30 million in the aggregate when we get done with this fiscal year. No, we are doing things right, and no, we don't owe $1 billion to anybody. I want to close the meeting in the name of Alberto Cesares and Zahara Moni, the mother of, just 1 second, let me check. The mother of Ali in the planning department. And we're adjourned. Thank you.